All right, here we go. 13.1. Don't get confused because we're going to be bouncing around a little bit. So we're in chapter 10, part 2. But I took two sections out of chapter 13 because it has to do with circles as well. I just did this because it matches up better than chapter 13 in my opinion. So we're still in chapter 10, part 2. Just treat this like chapter 10, part 2. Don't get confused by the 13.1. Okay, it's all about circles, okay, and angles and tangents, and it's all related. Okay. A couple things. I'm gonna have to repost an outline tonight. I want to add 13.4 into the outline. I only have 13.1 in right now. It's not a big deal. All it does is it's going to push our test back to the 11th, I think. It's just going to push our test back one day. It's not a big deal whatsoever. Okay. All right, so I'm going to repost that. I will highlight whatever is in, I don't know, I'll make it red. No, I don't like red. I'll make it yellow. Whatever I made new, I'll make it yellow so you guys can see it. Okay? So it's just going to push the test back one day. It's not a big deal at all. Okay? I just want 13.4 in there because I think it's good for you guys to see, especially with we have a shortened year. I want you guys to get used to the different shapes, and we'll get into it. Okay? Okay, what 13.1 is, it is standard equation of a circle. Okay, let me share my screen. I know you guys are tired of looking at my ugly mug. Share my screen. Boom. OneNote. There we go. We're rocking and rolling. Okay, first things first, we need to know the parts of the circle. Okay, what are the parts of the circle? We have a radius in red right here. The distance from the center to a point on the circle is called the radius. Okay, if I want the full thing, if I want it to go all the way across, that will be called the diameter. Okay, we're actually not going to deal with that today, but I just want you guys to know that. All the way around the circle is called the circumference, right? And that's pretty much it. Okay, the center. We have the center here. And it's actually something special about the center. The center is always going to be labeled as an ordered pair. So it's always going to be labeled as h comma k are the variables we're going to use for our center. Okay, so it's an ordered pair, h comma k. Okay, so we have the radius and the center is what we're going to need for the standard equation of a circle. Okay, here we go. Here's the standard basic equation of a circle. We have x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Okay, so notice our parts of our circle here. We have our center, my h and k, and we have our radius, the r. Okay, ooh, that's a terrible color. Let's make it blue. There we go. Okay, my center, h and k, my r is my radius, and where do I get that? I get that directly from the diagram they give us. Okay, or I'll give you an equation and ask you to state the center or radius. Okay, let's get on to writing equations. Sorry, the Blues game's on, so if I pause for a second, it's because we almost scored. Hoffman just scored. I like that guy. Pretty good. Okay, so write standard equation for each circle. The first one, we have a radius of 10. So remember, radius of 10 is going to be my r. It's going to be my r in my equation. And we have our center is an ordered pair 3 comma 0. Remember, the ordered pair for our circle, for our center, sorry, is h comma k. So what's my h? My h is my 3. And what's my k? My k is my 0. Okay, what do I do with all three of those variables? I plug into this equation, and I just rewrite it. It's very, very simple. Okay, first things first, we have x minus h squared. X minus my h squared. Okay, what is my h? My h is 3. Okay, let me change colors here. I'll put my variables in red. X minus h squared. Okay, then we have plus y minus k squared, which is 0. Do I actually need to write 0? No, but I will for now. Okay. And then what's the last part? We have equals r squared. What's my r? My 10, right? My 10 squared. Remember, whatever is red is what I plugged in. So my 3, my 0, and my 10, my H, my K, and my R. Okay, all right, could we simplify here? Yeah, we could. Okay, can I do anything with the x minus 3? I can't, so leave it the same. Okay, the y minus 0 is just going to be y squared, because y minus 0 is just y. And 10 squared is what? Should know this one. 100. Voila. Okay, that's your first standard equation of a circle, given the center and a radius. Done. Okay, next one. Now we got a radius of 3 and a center of 4 and -6. Okay, pay attention to the -6 here. This is where you guys trip up all the time. First step, label your variables. My R, my H, and my K. Okay, second step, start plugging into your formula. You have x minus h, my h is 4, whole thing squared, plus y minus my k. Now don't trip up here. It's -6. So you put -6 in for k. This should be black. There we go. Equals my r squared, which is going to be my 3 squared. Okay, remember, don't get tripped up right here. Don't do it. This double negative, what do 2 negatives make? 2 negatives make a positive, correct? Yeah, you're right. I know. Don't mess that up. Okay, so now we simplify and rewrite. So x minus a -6, or sorry, y minus a -6 is going to be y plus 6 squared equals, what's 3 squared? 9, right? 9. Okay, we good? This hat is so dirty. It's the hat I won when they were in the they won the Stanley Cup. Sentimental value. I need to wash it, but I never will. Never will. Absolutely not. Okay, so first things first. So the first type of problem is I give you radius and center, and I ask you to write it. Second type of problem is going to be I give you equation, and I'm asking for the radius and center. Okay, so this problem is these two are the second type of problems. Okay, I give you the equation, and I'm asking for the HK, which is my center, and the radius, R. Okay, so I need to make sense of this. So here's my first equation. X squared plus y squared equals 49 squared. Where did we see that before today? We saw it in the first problem we did, right? Y minus 0 is just y squared. Okay, no, in this one, my k was 0, and I only have y squared. What does that mean about our problem next? If I have x squared and y squared, what does that mean about my h and my k? Where's my center? Okay, remember, my center is going to be 0, 0. Okay, remember, because this actually is saying x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals 49. Okay, so I need to figure out what my r is. 49 is something squared. Do we know that? How could we find it out if we didn't know off the top of our head? Okay, we could take the square root of 49 to get my r. Okay, so what's the square root of 49? We know it's 7, and my radius is going to be 7. 0, 0 is my center. Pretty easy. Are we done with this one? No. Oh, now we got to do the graph. No big deal. Okay, where are we at? Last one for this type of problem. Okay, so I have x plus 8. Now remember, my general formula is x minus h. Okay, so what does that mean? If I get x plus 8, what does it actually mean about that 8? Is it going to be negative or positive? Well, let's look. Look at the one we just did. Remember, this y minus a -6 turned into y plus 6. And our k was -6. So down here, I have x plus 8. So what does that mean about my h? My h is going to be negative 8. Now what's my k? My k is just plain 4, positive 4. Okay, so this really is x minus a negative 8. Okay. All right, so same kind of concept. I need to find my radius from that value. I know that's my radius squared, right? I know that's my r squared. Is anything times itself equal 13 off the top of your head? No, right? 13 is not a perfect square. Okay, so remember, how did I say to find it? What did we do up here? We took the square root of 49 to find r. Well, take the square root of 13 to find r. Can we simplify that any further? We can't. That right there is my radius. Okay, don't get so confused. When I give you the equation, all you got to do is square root the number on the other side of the equal sign to find your r. Not a big deal whatsoever. Okay? All right, now we're given a graph. So the third type of problem. Give graph, write equation. Okay, so these two are the third types of problems I could give you. Okay, first things first, label our center and our radius from the graph. What's my center? Ooh, I cannot read this. Okay, so that's 5. So this must be 5. So it's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have 3 comma, what is it, 2? Looks good to me. My clothes are done. 1, 2, 3 comma 2. It's my center. My radius, all we got to do is count from the center. 1, 2, 3 to the outer of the circle. Okay, so my radius is 3. All right, so now we have the center and the radius. Now all we got to do is write the equation. Pretty easy. Here's my h, k, and r. Remember, general form is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Okay, plug in your variables. So we have x minus 3 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals r squared. My 3 is my r, so it's going to be 9. Remember, this is 3 squared. Okay, not hard. Okay, last one. First things first, find your center. So where's my center? Right there. Okay, now what is that? That's negative 5, 5. Remember, x comma y or h comma k. Same thing. All right, what's my radius? Start from the center of the circle, count how many places it is to the outer edge of the circle. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's write our equation. So remember, negative 5 is my h, so I have x minus a negative 5 squared plus y minus 5, that's my k squared equals, what's 4 squared? 16. Let's simplify this a little bit more. Remember, 2 negatives make a positive. Plus y minus 5 squared equals 16. Where do we get the 16 from? It's my radius squared, which is 4 squared in this problem. And that's it. Okay, so remember, I'm going to add 13.4 into the outline. You guys will have a new outline already on Schoology to look at. All it does is push the test back one day. Okay? We good? All right, guys. That's it. That's all I got for you. I will see you guys on maybe Friday. Cool. Peace. If I can get out of here. How do I get out of here? There we go.